You're listening to the What the Wrestling Podcast, the show that brings you all things wrestling with your host, RJD.
Oh, you already know what time it is.
Surprise, motherfucker.
We had a pay-per-view last night, everybody. We had a pay-per-view NXT Halloween Havoc 2022. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about CM Punk and if he is really going back to WWE. Spoiler alert, according to me,
You stupid.
if you believe that, but we'll see what happens. And we will talk about SmackDown as well. Rampage, we will talk about another time because nothing much happened on Rampage other than All Elite is Willow Nightingale. That's awesome. Now, moving on. Check out my socials. Follow me, RJD, RJ699 on Twitter, RJD_199 on Instagram, RJD199 on Snapchat, but most importantly, follow What the Wrestling on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. Follow What the Wrestling on Spotify and Anchor. Let's go! Yes. 'Tis I, RJD here. Welcome to What the Wrestling, the show that brings you all things wrestling. As you guys already know, as I have stated before, I am your host. We got a lot to get into today, a lot to talk about today. Hope everybody's having a good day on this, frankly, gray Sunday. Just a footnote.
Emotional damage.
The Yankees are down 3-0 to those goddamn Houston Astros when we should be up 2-1 going for game number 4 today. I have a lot of emotional damage. This is not making me happy one bit. I am annoyed at the goddamn Yankees because we can't seem to get it together versus the goddamn Astros. It's depressing. Moving on. Now that we've got the depressing stuff out the way, let's talk about this. Hit the like button, like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. You guys already know what it is. So, let's talk about Halloween Havoc last night. I'll get into the Punk stuff and the SmackDown. We're going to run through that quick. But I do want to talk about Halloween Havoc because it was, you know what this was? I'll tell you what it is.
What are you?
An idiot sandwich.
It was, It wasn't an idiot sandwich, but it was a sandwich nonetheless because the beginning of this show was fantastic. The end of this show was fantastic. The middle of this show was not fantastic. So, to me, if you want to compare it to takeovers, remember, takeovers, you judge them against other takeovers because takeovers were like the epitome of wrestling excellence in pay-per-view format when Triple H was running black and gold when it was going strong. Because I'm old enough, I was watching NXT when the takeovers first started happening during Women's Revolution, Bayley, Sasha Banks, all that. So, with that being said, this was not as good as a takeover, but those two, the first match and the last match, were takeover worthy. That's what I'll say. They were definitely takeover worthy. Now, let's get into it. So, let's get into this and see what's going on. We had a ladder match to start things off. We had Von Wagner, Wes Lee, Carmelo Hayes, Oro Mensah, and Nick Frazier. This was fantastic. A lot of crazy spots here. I mean, we had Von Wagner hitting a damn fan. Von Wagner hit a fan by accident trying to take out a very, very, very long ladder. And the refs came over. Crowd was chanting asshole. And he ended up getting the ladder up. Everything was good. Mensah took a very ugly bump off the ladder. We also had another ugly bump that happened. There was a Meteora. Oh, wow, now I'm getting congested. You hear this? Excuse me. That came out of nowhere. I just started getting congested. We had a Meteora by Wes Lee onto Carmelo Hayes at the end. We had crazy ladder spots. We had Von Wagner at the highlight of this pay-per-view. He grabbed Wes Lee, military pressed him, and threw him from the ring onto the announce table, in which he bounced, boing, like a basketball, and then fell and damn near hit his head onto the wheels of the seat. And Booker T and I forgot the other guy's name, they got the hell out of Dodge because he literally just threw him like a basketball or something. It was craziness. Frazier did deliver a frog splash off the top rope onto Wagner, putting him through that ladder that he almost hit the fan with. That was hilarious. Wagner recovered, but Frazier and Mensah, they basically squashed him. He was in between, like, the crowd. There's a little ditch, and then there's the railing. They put him in between the railing and just basically smashed him with the ladder. Carmelo Hayes, very, very good in this match as well. Melo don't miss. So here is my thoughts on what's going on here. Carmelo Hayes, he needs to be on SmackDown, ripping and running, fighting for the IC title. I think he's outgrown NXT. I don't think he needs to be here. I love the fact that Wes Lee won this match. That was a pleasant surprise.
Surprise, motherfucker.
I didn't think it was going to go to Carmelo Hayes. I thought maybe Nick Frazier was going to win. Frazier's really good. I think this was a breakout performance by Frazier. I think he's crazy athletic, as are all of these dudes. Even Von Wagner is a monster in there. He had a great showing. I think Frazier, is a breakout star. He'll chase. Mensah will chase. Carmelo Hayes, I think he should just be on Raw or SmackDown right now, especially with that Melo don't miss, with that swag. I think he'll get over on Raw or SmackDown. Shit, maybe he'll join Hit Row. I don't know. I mean, he doesn't need Hit Row, but you never know. Wes Lee, North American champ, with all the tumultuous stuff that him and his tag team partner went through, MSK. The fact that MSK got broken up because of the whole crap with his tag team partner, and then they released him. I thought they were going to bring him back eventually, and once everything falls by the wayside, they'll bring him back in a surprise, and he'll get a big pop, and everybody will go crazy because those two, MSK, they could be fighting for championships on Raw or SmackDown right now. Imagine the battles they could have with the Usos or the Brawling Brutes or the Alpha Academy or the Street Profits. These guys could go up there right now and kill it. Now, Von Wagner, I think he has grown. I like his character now. I think maybe he needs a mouthpiece, like a badass mouthpiece who really knows how to bring him up. And I think he's got a huge, huge upside. Wouldn't surprise me if he beats Braun Breaker for the title. But this was a very good opener to a decent show. But this was very good. Wesley, your new North American champion. We had Toxic Attraction, Haunted by Abba Fire. Excuse me. This was weird to me. Not really sure what they were doing. They had Toxic Attraction.
You stupid.
Going into this haunted house, and then Abba Fire picked them apart one by one. It looked like something out of a bad 80s horror movie or 90s horror movie. Wasn't feeling this at all. I'm good with that. The end result is Mandy Rose got beat up, thrown back into the thing, and Abba Fire drove off with her, and they had their match later on in the night. Didn't like this, not one bit. Not one bit.
Stop it. Get some help.
But we did have a casket match, and this was okay. Nothing crazy or spectacular about it. Apollo Crews is an incredible athlete. Grayson Waller is an incredible athlete. Starting to get his character a little bit. The character development is moving forward. I didn't get it at first, but I'm starting to get it. It's starting to grow on me. Plus, he's really good in the ring. He's great in the ring. Very athletic. Excuse me. And at the end of the day, Apollo Crews beats Grayson Waller by putting his ass in a casket. Okay, cool with me. Nothing wrong here. Crews took a bump from the top rope onto the lid of the casket, and he appeared on the outside of a brief lights out. The Druids came out and brought a second casket to the ring. Didn't understand this one bit. I failed to see the point in that, but whatever. Cool. Crews also attempted to throw the ring steps at Waller. He moved just in the nick of time. There was a spine buster into the casket for the win by Apollo, Mr. Crews. Then we had a Weapons Wild Max. You hear me?
You stupid.
A Weapons Wild match. Roxanne Perez versus Cora Jade. This was good. I started to like it towards the end. There was a pop rock spot onto a bunch of chairs. The only thing that I would have changed is that they had way too many like we had an ambulance match, and then we had a casket match, and then we had a ladder match, and then we had another match with weapons, like weapons everywhere. This was really good though. Pop rocks onto the chairs for the win. This story is good. It's emotional. It's being told properly. Cora Jade, Roxanne Perez, I want them to keep telling this story. Maybe they could go away from each other and come back to each other eventually. And maybe one could beat the other one for the title, or one could cost one for the title. The women's title, that is. Don't know if Cora's ready. Don't even know if Roxanne Perez is ready. But I think that is something they can revisit down the line. This was good. I liked it. Fine by me. Perez brought a skateboard to the ring, and Cora Jade brought her kendo stick. But Jade cut off the momentum with, I think she had a spray to the eyes, cold spray. Okay, cool. This was good. Solid match. Ambulance match. Julius Creed versus Damon Kemp. This was solid. Now, the problem was the end of it was better than the beginning. Like the first half of this match, it was just them beating the holy hell out of each other. But then once this thing got cracking in the back, where Julius Creed put his hands in the door so the door wouldn't slam, so he took that pain. He didn't sell his hands after that. I mean, somebody slams your hand. My hands have been caught in the door in my life a bunch of times, and then they swolled up crazy. And this dude got his hands caught in the door and didn't even sell it. He was just like, I'm still fighting. That was pretty cool. The fact that at the end of this match, he just beat the holy hell out of this guy. He hit him with like 10 chair shots. He hit him with the clothesline, with the big clothesline right onto his face. He basically picked it with the chair in his hand. He picked him up, brought him to the back, threw his ass in the ambulance, and shut the door. And basically told him,
Get the fuck out of here!
the ending of this match was great. There was a cool spot too where Creed trapped Kemp in a wheelchair using a crutch and then threw him into a ladder, I think, or threw him into the ring steps, something like that. That was a funny that was funny. But I like this. I like the end of this match. Last 5-6 minutes of this match was fantastic. So he powerbombed him onto the stretcher, hit him with the clothesline, got him up out of there, threw him into the ambulance. I like the Creed brothers. I think the Creed brothers, once they refine and retool everything, and then they know who they are, and once they get to the main roster, they keep having matches like this, whoo, it's going to be a problem. NXT Women's Championship match, Amba Fire versus Mandy Rose. I didn't like this. She brought this was short, only went like 5-6 minutes. But because of the shenanigans, again, because of the buffoonery, it was just like, once again, Mandy Rose wins again. She's the champion. She's another one who, she's got to drop the title. The title is not doing any good in her hands right now. She's been the champ for forever. I mean, there's got to be somebody else, another woman back there who's ready for that spot, that could take that spot on. Because, I mean, her title reign is getting a little stale at this point. I liked it when it first started, but it's the same thing. Cheat after cheat after cheat after cheat after cheat after cheat. It's like, come on. Can we get something else here, please? Can we get somebody else that's, built up storyline-wise to get this belt? I think Mandy Rose is great. I think she's gotten a lot better. I just think they need to upgrade and figure out who's next in line. Because I can't even tell you who I think is going to be next to actually get the title. So I think once they do that, maybe even if they brought Mandy back up, have something for her to do, put her back on Raw or SmackDown, she's getting to work in now. She's getting to work in. So let that woman cook. But I do like the fact that she did help lift the division when she got back. Triple threat match. Ilya Dragunov versus Braun Breaker versus JD McDonough. This was fantastic. The whole story of the match is JD McDonough is trying to let these guys kill each other so that he can steal the victory. The fact that he couldn't steal the victory at the end was fantastic. That's what I liked about. The most important thing about this match, Ilya Dragunov. Dragunov is freaking amazing.
Oh, yeah!
Dragunov is a problem. Why this man is still on NXT and not on the main roster, cooking it up, him and Carmelo Hayes, they don't need to be in NXT. They don't. Ilya Dragunov is like the Russian Sheamus. Like, he's like Walter. You put him in the ring, he don't gotta say much. He's just going to beat the piss out of people, and he's gonna get over beating the piss out of people. And I can't wait to see what he does on Raw and SmackDown. Just like I can't wait to see Legado del Fantasma, because I think that group as a whole, they're fantastic as well. But Ilya Dragunov is a goddamn beast. He is so damn good at what he does. All of these brothers in this match did exceptionally well. They did fantastic. This match was, from start to finish, it had me intrigued. I like JD McDonough. I know how good he is. I've watched him on NXT UK on a couple of occasions. I like Ilya Dragunov. Ever since I saw the first match with him and Walter, that guy is amazing. And Braun Breaker is getting better every time we see him on TV. Does he need to eventually lose the title? Yes. Do I think that his title reign is getting stale? Yes. But he's still very good, very athletic. He's built like a goddamn tank. Don't know if he's ready for Maine just yet, but by the time he gets to Maine, he's going to be a problem because he's a badass. He's a fighting champion. He just wants to fight. Let's go. I'll give you a shot and I'm going to beat your ass. Let's get it. I like that. But and then, like I said, who's next in line? You can't even tell right now. So maybe we'll find out next Tuesday who's going to be next in line to try to get this belt off of Braun Breaker. And when do they intend on bringing up Braun Breaker? Who knows? I don't know. But I like Braun Breaker. He's getting better every day. He did have 2 good dance partners in there today, though. But that was the story of the match. The second spot of the night that got me is Ilya Dragunov hits the Torpedo Moscow. And I thought, literally, I'm sitting on my couch. I'm like, he got it. Hey, got it. I was hype. I was throwing shit. I was like, let's go. And then JD McDonough stops the ref from counting 3. And I was like, oh.
Emotional damage.
Man, I had a lot of emotional damage because I wanted Dragunov to win this match. I knew he wasn't going to win. I knew Breaker was probably going to retain, but I wanted him to win this goddamn match so bad. Oh, man. But very good match by these two. They just kept escalating and escalating. They beat the holy piss out of each other. Very good spots. Go watch it. This match and the opening match was worth this pay-per-view. A lot of people always say, you know, if your pay-per-view has a good beginning, a good middle, and a good end, the bullshit that comes in between that may be garbage, but we can survive it if it has a good middle, a good beginning, and a good end. That's what NXT was today. It had a decent enough spot in the middle with the Creed brothers and all of that, but all the other stuff here was it was meh. Good beginning, great end. Good stuff. Let's talk about being that nothing really happened on SmackDown. I don't even find it important to talk about because nothing happened on SmackDown. Let's talk about Punk. So before I get out of here, CM Punk. Could he be going back to WWE? So let's talk about what Mr. Dave talked about. So Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Live stated that Punk is expected to leave AEW with Tony Khan looking at a contract buyout. However, that right there is like, wow. However, the holdup seems to be over a non-compete clause. And I quote, AEW is still in talks with Punk about the future, but right now it looks doubtful he will be back. They are in talks with Punk about a buyout of the remaining years of his contract, which tells you that they are not looking to bring him back. The holdup right now is said to be the non-compete period. And I quote, continue. Obviously, if the non-compete is an issue, it's about interest in going to WWE because there's no need for a non-compete. Otherwise, because nobody else but AEW and WWE could pay him close to what he's making right now. So, we'll see. And he continues, there are those in WWE who have been negative towards him, but it is a war, and the optics of looking publicly like they have taken Punk from AEW would be very significant. Triple H's whole game right now is to be about surprise debuts, and Punk would be the biggest possible for him to bring in for Impact. All right, so let's unpack this. CM Punk right now is probably not coming back. There are reports that we don't know who did it for sure, but allegedly he threw the first punch and he went in on Hangman, went in on a tirade, had something, mentioned Hangman in a promo when Hangman had nothing to do with his storyline. Him and the Elite have had this build up of tension over the past whatever months. They've been building it up, and it finally spewed over at the media scrum. At All Out, we all know what happened. If you're a wrestling fan, unless you've been living under a rock, you know this already. They got into a fight backstage. People tried to break it up. Kenny Omega got bit. Ace Steel is hitting people with chairs, and it's crazy, allegedly. So there's a lot going on. Now, the fallout from that is Ace Steel has been fired. So they basically told him,
Get the fuck out of here!
now CM Punk, they're like, listen, man,
Surprise, motherfucker.
we'll just buy you out. You sit at home, but they don't want him going to WWE because even though that's big money to be made, I had a conversation with with a friend the other day. Maybe 25%. 25% he ends up going back to WWE. Because yes, is there a big bag to be made? Yes. Will Triple H and Stephanie give him a huge bag, a lot of millions to come over there? Yes. Could he possibly do a part-time schedule, have a lot of dream matches over there? Yes. All these things are true. All these things are possible. But fact of the matter is, he wasn't getting along with Vince towards the end, especially. Him and Triple H don't like each other. That's reported. Punk said it himself. He doesn't like Triple H, and he doesn't think Triple H likes him. So, for the sake of business, could they get past it? Maybe, but it's highly unlikely. And then you got to think about it. Do they want CM Punk in their locker room? AEW, when the reports first came out about the fight, they said Punk is going to have to make huge amends if he is going to be coming back to AEW. Even if he said, I'm sorry, a million times, him going back to WWE after shitting on them publicly years ago and doing all this extra stuff, don't think it's likely. I just don't. I don't think, and that's even if he still wants to wrestle. I mean, yeah, he may not want to wrestle, but he'll do it for the money, especially if he's going to get a nice part-time schedule like Edge or like Brock or something like that. But other than that, if he doesn't want to wrestle anymore, I wouldn't be surprised either. He's made his money. He's good with his money. He's chilling. Why not do that? But going back to WWE, that locker room is going to look at him. They're going to look at him funny style. Because it's like, yo, bro, you really out here throwing punches, man? And listen, the locker room talks. You're going to have those people they're not going to be afraid to say, yo, bro, yeah, you left, but this our locker room now. We don't want you here. We don't need you here. We good without you. Just like in AEW. Eddie Kingston, nobody wants you here. We don't need you here. I mean, yeah, promo, storyline, but still, some people did feel that way about Mr. Punk. So I would not be surprised if WWE and the guys in that locker room, the guys and gals, they don't want to deal with his attitude. They don't want to deal with Punk's behavior. Will he even have those same behaviors if he goes over there? Will he have realized the error of his ways if he goes to WWE? I don't know. It's very interesting. I can't call it. 25% I think he goes, 75% I think he either stays with AEW or just sits at home. They wouldn't give him a non-compete if they didn't think that he was going to run to AEW. And if Triple H could snatch away an EVP, Cody, and then snatch away CM Punk would move the needle as well for WWE because that audience knows CM Punk. They remember CM Punk. The WWE audience, they know CM Punk very well. Now, he probably couldn't come in as a babyface, but to say that wouldn't make a huge splash is ridiculous because it would. CM Punk coming in would absolutely be a big deal for WWE. Wow, you took Cody, now you took Punk? When Punk said he would never go back there, and he's going back there? Come on, man.
Perfect.
That script writes itself. That's going to be the narrative. Punk said he would never come back here, but he came back here. He came back home because AEW ain't ish. They're going to run with that storyline. They're going to run with that. And there's crazy dream matches he can have and all this other sorts of stuff. It's going to be fantastic. So, could he go back to WWE? Maybe. Will he? I don't know. 25% chance for me. But do not rule it out that he could go back to WWE. Because if Dave Meltzer's reporting this and saying this, where there's smoke, there's fire. Where there's smoke, there is fire. So that's all I got for you guys today. Check out my socials once again. It is Sunday. The Ravens have won. Hopefully the Yankees don't get swept. And I can enjoy my Sunday in peace. From me here at What the Wrestling to everybody at home. See you guys tomorrow with the news. I'm out. Peace.
Dom DeMarco.